Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a special speed build, which is a request from a long-term subscriber who has been subscribed from as far back as I can remember, which is Angie, aka Art Lover. Now I was having a look through my comments the other day and she left me a lovely comment, and within that comment she explained that her grandmother also plays The Sims and has Base Game and the Vintage Glamour stuff pack, and would I be willing to build her a traditional type of build because that was what she was into. So I said absolutely, of course, I would love to do that. I was over the moon, to be honest. I thought it was like the sweetest thing. So the first thing that came to mind for me was a Victorian type of build. Now I have built a couple of these. One of them was a collaboration a while back with Sim Architecture, and another one I did probably a couple of months ago now. It's one of my absolutely favourite styles of builds. I just think it's so sort of intricate and interesting, and they also come in some real wacky colours in real life. You know, I've seen some really beautiful designs of these homes based over in America. So this was the type of house that I wanted to build, and I was super excited as well because obviously we've got the new roof in, so it was nice to be able to finally make a bit more of an interesting shape with the turrets and do something a little bit more traditional, which would be fitting with this particular style of build. So this is Monroe Drive. It's a 4-bedroom 2-bathroom build on a 30 by 20 lot over in Willow Creek. So I positioned this one right at the top left hand corner of Willow Creek. There's some really beautiful plots there, and this was actually built on a corner plot and I really love it. It's absolutely gorgeous. So this house also came in at just less than 167,000 simoleons. So I didn't actually stick to a budget. I just went straight out flat to build a nice, beautiful home. So even though I've built lots of similar style houses to this in the past, or well, not lots, but I've built a couple, I've never actually specifically built a traditional interior. I have said before that when I build builds, I kind of like quite a modernish or family style interior. I don't really do oldie worldy, but it was really nice for a change to specifically build you know, for that criteria. I thought it was quite nice. So on the inside, I decided to go for something that was quite kind of like posh sort of, just, it was just quite nice, but it was kind of oldie worldy at the same time. But I would say it was quite beautiful, and certainly upstairs is a very feminine. So I did decide to do quite a plain sort of landscaping effect with this house. There's nothing really too busy going on. It's quite plain and straightforward. There's a little garden area at the back, and there's a couple of bushes, a couple of plants, and there's also a seating area with a barbecue because that's just standard. There are a few chairs on the veranda as well, which are looking out across the street, but other than that, everything else is pretty simple. And what I have actually done purposely is just kept it what I would say low maintenance, because that was what I would imagine if I was a little bit older I would prefer, is something that looked very beautiful but was quite easy to maintain. So that was what I wanted to do with the exterior of this build, and I think it looks quite nice. It is quite plain and simple, but I think it works quite well. Now, this is actually making for quite an interesting voiceover. For some reason, my video editing software has decided that it wants to record my voiceovers in 60-second clips, and every 60 seconds it actually just automatically stops recording, which is really frustrating. But I am actually in contact with the support to find out what on earth's going on, and that's via email, but I've no idea how long they're going to take. So I really want to get this voiceover done, so I'm trying to record everything in like minute clips. So if the voiceover sounds a bit strange, I do apologize. It's just some sort of witchcraft going on with my software. So I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. Mine was not very good at all. If you follow me over on Twitter, you'll know that when I uploaded my last video, probably about 4 days ago, I think it is now, I was absolutely fine. I uploaded that video and everything was absolutely great, and then I went to bed, and the next minute I woke up in the middle of the night and I felt really, really sick. Now, if anyone knows me personally, you know that, well, nobody likes being sick, but I will literally stand on my head to prevent being sick because I just hate it. I'm just such a mardy bum with it. I hate being sick. So anyway, I woke up feeling really, really ill, and I just remember sort of whispering to my husband that I felt sick, I was in bed, and that I couldn't really move, and then the inevitable happened. I had to get out of bed, I had to rush to the toilet, and I was really ill. And I kind of thought it would just be a quick sort of 12-hour bug, you know, just a little bit of sickness, a little bit of stomachache, and that would be over and done with. As my son was a little bit poorly probably about a week before that, and he'd had a bit of sickness as well, which is to be expected, unfortunately, at this time of the year, especially through the schools. The kids pick up all sorts of different bugs, and obviously I always end up like catching something or other. So I just thought it would be over and done with. Anyway, I managed to get back to sleep, and then I woke up again during the night and I was sick again, and then it was just awful. It kind of snowballed from there. So all through Friday it was kind of like torture, because when you're a mum, and especially when you're a mum to 4 kids, you cannot afford to be ill. And any mums out there will know exactly what I'm talking about. You do not have the time to be ill. There is no lying around on the sofa or, you know, chilling out and trying to recover, or being in bed all day and watching videos, or whatever it is that you do to try and recover as a singleton, or your younger self. I was literally I had to just get on with my day. So luckily on the Friday, my husband did the school run and he looked after that, because I was really worried about throwing up on the way. And then after that, thankfully, it was the weekend, so I had a little bit more time to recover. But it was actually only sort of yesterday, which was Sunday, into the evening, when I started to really recover properly. So it's been a bit of a rough few days, and it kind of come out of the blue and knocked me sideways. So that wasn't very pleasant at all. But moving on to the interior of the build, I'm just kind of like figuring out the floor plan a little bit, which is a bit strange, to be honest. This room is a bit of a weird shape. It's a bit of a weird setup. But then saying that, Victorian builds are a little bit higgledy-piggledy inside, and so I didn't feel too guilty about that. But I decided to create a little bit of an entertainment area just over to the right-hand side of the living room. So we had like the piano and the sort of easel area where you could do a little bit of painting, and then we had like the main living area with the sofa. I didn't actually add in a TV in this living area because I kind of felt like, you know, this would probably be a family home, which, well, I know, I lie. There's a TV upstairs. There's like an entertainment room upstairs. But I didn't put one in the main living area because I kind of thought, you know, it was more of a kind of sitting area where you might do some nice quiet reading and, you know, maybe play chess. That life was more about interacting with one another as a family rather than technology. So moving on to the kitchen, I did debate having a separate dining area, which I was going to use in one of the other rooms, and then I decided no, I'm just going to put it all in the same room. I do find with my Sims in-game that they do tend to eat at the nearest seating area, and sometimes placing dining rooms in builds doesn't always work out so effective. So I did decide just to pop the dining table into this kitchen area and make a kind of kitchen diner, which, yeah, you know, I kind of liked it. I did actually feature kind of like this rose sort of flower arrangement on the table, which I thought looked quite feminine and quite pretty too, but the actual kitchen itself is fairly small. Now, I did notice afterwards that I didn't place a fridge, so I did go back in and remove one of the units and place a fridge in there, which I've done before. You know, I do it all the time. There's always something that I forget. It's normally like the post box or the outdoor bin or something along those lines. But yeah, just recently it's been the fridge, but I do remember to put it in. And then, you know, I always make sure that the gallery upload's got everything that it needs. So this is actually available to download now. If you're interested, it's up on the gallery under #SimKimBuilds or user ID, gallery ID, whatever you want to call it, SimKimBuilds. I do normally hashtag every build that I do with SimKim anyway, so you know, if you're ever interested in finding one of my builds, then you will find it on the gallery that way as well. So I wasn't entirely sure what to do with this room, because this was the room that I was going to have as a dining room, but I did think it was a little bit on the small side, which was, you know, also the reason for creating a kitchen diner instead. So I did decide to just use it as a little study area. It's very much a kind of adult space down here, even though it is a massive family home. I imagine that this is kind of for an elderly couple, or in particular the Sim that I placed into this lot, she was just a single Sim, and I imagine that she has a huge family, so she's lots and lots of space to kind of cater for a family and to keep them when they want to come and stay over. But the actual space is very, very much for you know, sort of the elderly generation, and I didn't kind of include any kind of kids stuff or toy boxes or anything like that. It's just very much adult themed throughout. So upstairs, this is onto the main bedroom, and it was kind of a light bluish themed room. Lots of the rooms I did were quite feminine, lots of light pastel colours. And I wasn't really sure, to be honest, on how many bedrooms I wanted to add or what kind of bedrooms I wanted to add. But I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to make 4 bedrooms, and then you guys can do what the hell you want with this build. And anyone and everyone can come and stay or move in, and you can customise it however you like. So we do have a bathroom upstairs and a bathroom downstairs as well. I'm not sure if I included the bathroom build in this lot. I maybe didn't. But it was quite straightforward, quite simple. So yes, so I have to say it was quite nice and refreshing again doing a sort of restricted build, you know, using limited packs with just the base game and the Vintage Glamour. It was quite nice, and you know, it made a change to just have that sort of opportunity to build without so much choice. I think it kind of forces you to be a little bit more creative, but it does limit you, I must admit. But it was still really nice to be able to create this and know that I hadn't used absolutely every single pack to create a home, because sometimes, you know, I don't really pay attention to that, and I only have a look back on the gallery. It's only then when I kind of think, wow, I didn't actually use everything to create that house. So yeah, I'm hoping you guys, you know, will enjoy some of these builds. So I hope I've done it some justice, and I hope your grandmother enjoys this build if she does choose to use it, and let me know in the comments what she thought about it. That would be great to have some feedback, and I really hope she loves it. So if you enjoyed this speed build, please give me a big thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, please feel free to subscribe, and then you can keep up to date with all my latest builds. But I hope you all have a fantastic week, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.